What would you say that one thing is that got you that ability? Stop overthinking and just do.
First of all, make bite-sized decisions. What's the most manageable thing you can do in this moment in time just to get started? And once you start, you unlock the magic.
Momentum.
Momentum brings you the luck into your life. Do it in a bite-sized chunk. Don't overwhelm yourself, because if you think it's so big, you're going to get like stuck and you're going to get doubt, and doubt is the anti-luck. The second thing I would say is think who's around you in your life. And then don't be afraid to start telling people what you want to accomplish.
Welcome to Habits and Hustle. You guys, I'm so excited about today's guest, legit, because he is not only a great guy, he is Canadian. He is a true entrepreneur. Like, I'm talking like a legit baller. Basically founded one of the most successful toy companies on the planet called Spin Master. It is equivalent to like Mattel. Like, where is it in that world?
It's Lego, Hasbro, Mattel, Spin Master.
Oh, so you're number 4 in the world. Okay. You should be embarrassed. Like I said, the Rubik's Cube is one of his. Paw Patrol. If you are someone who has a child, you will know probably half of the products that they have. But more than that, his what he built, we're going to learn so many things about leadership, entrepreneurship, grit, and how to basically get what you want. And I'm very happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
It's so nice to be here.
It's so happy. Okay, by the way, his name is Ronnen Harary. I forgot to. I was so
Ronnen.
excited. I don't think I even said your name. And he wrote a book called No Experience Necessary. I was saying to Ronnen, I was saying before we even started, what I found so interesting about I mean, I never founded a multi-billion-dollar company. I've founded a few other ones that were not like that, but what your pillars are about how to build success and get success. Like, it's literally like it was like reading my own book, or like my own, saying the same thing I say to myself. So the fact that I felt like there was like a real like synergy here. So I want to like dive into this book. Um, but my first question is, like, someone like you who's already like, you've made so much money, has had so much success. Why would you even like why are you writing a book? Like, why do you even want to do this whole grind in the first place? You know?
It's a great question. I think that part of it's to give back for me.
Okay.
And, in a way, I kind of wanted a book like this to be written when I was a kid. And because the book is there to be a supportive parent to you and to encourage you to do what you want to do in your life. And I was actually very blessed in a sense, because after my parents divorced, my mother was like super encouraging for me to do whatever I wanted. And there was no negativity in any parts of the conversation. And when I look back, when I hit, in my 40s, I was like, there's something so special about the 20s.
Mm,
There's something so special about that
so
decade.
true. Yeah.
And I wanted to put it down on paper and explain what's so special about that decade and what accrues to you during that time. And I love reading books, and it was a challenge for me. And it's kind of an irony because I grew up with a learning disability called dysgraphia, which is all about the inability to get your thoughts out through your hands. So it was kind of like a challenge. And plus, the last part is that I took a sabbatical for a year and a half, and I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I needed a project.
No, no, I think that's a great reason, though. It's a great.
So
I think
it's
everyone needs to have something to do, a purpose and a project, right? Because then what? Like, especially someone that's built the way you are, seems that
yeah.
you are. But wait a second, I've never heard of that type of learning disability. What do you mean? So you're not able to get your thoughts from your
So
head to the paper? Is that what the
correct,
disability is?
correct. Like if you ask me to sign the book for you
Mm-hmm.
and write a note, okay, you'll be hard for you to read it. I'd have to write it really slowly. So it's basically like I write like a doctor, but I'm not a doctor.
Right.
Okay. So basically, as I start writing, my hand starts to cramp up, and then I can't even read my own handwriting. So then I got to go back and scratch it out and write very slowly so I can read it later. And it's just I get stuck, and then I got to reboot my thoughts to actually start again. So it just slows you down. And I have some other learning disabilities around spatial stuff. But please go ahead.
No, what I was going to say is when I was reading your book, you did mention in there how, like, the way you work and process information is different than how other people do, and you kind of made a point, which I thought, again, resonated with me, is like a lot of people like spreadsheets and graphs and like doing a lot of this like busy admin work or like
Right.
PowerPoints. It was about a PowerPoint.
Right.
And you're like, I
Right.
just don't work that way.
Right.
Like, that's not the way that works for me. And when I read that, I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you put that in paper, because my brain, again, is very similar. I don't write like a doctor, but probably similar. Like, I have really bad handwriting, and I'm, I'm like, my superpower is getting things done off paper.
Right.
Right. And the second someone says you have to be giving me a PowerPoint and this type of agreement and like, I get so like anxiety stress. I'm like, I can't do that. That's not how I work, because
Right.
not everybody learns and succeeds in the same way.
100%. Well, I've never done a PowerPoint in my whole life.
Yeah. Neither have I, by the way.
I've never done PowerPoint because we're very similar. Um,
Neither have I.
yeah. So, I mean, my brain processes it. The thing about a learning disability is not a sign of lack of intelligence. It just
Hmm.
means it's just a sign that you intake information differently and the information comes out differently. And the unfortunate part is that most of us that go to public school, the system is not built for us.
Hmm.
And so it's very difficult. But I was very lucky because I got identified at 10 years old. And as a result of that, I got accommodations. I got extra time on my exams. I got a tutor at the end of the day. And if I didn't get identified, there was no way, I can tell you 100%, there was no way that I would have made it through school. And I probably would have been either in jail or something else.
You,
And
mm,
yeah,
interesting, because you
yeah,
normally, I would say, if you were born today, right? They would say that, I don't even know if that would even well, actually, that's not true, because I would say they would actually give you a lot of like, it would actually be different. What I was going to say is, sometimes when you put emphasis on that disability, that becomes your identity and that defines who you are. So a lot of times people will then not work as hard, and they will just like fall back on, well, I can't do it. So like, how did you kind of like negate that and not let that become who you are? Like, oh, because when you're young, you think, oh, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I have something's wrong with me, all those things.
it's the irony is that it was never talked about in my family.
Mm,
Okay. And my parents never recognized it. So I hid it from everybody. Everybody, no one even knew. Okay. Even my classmates didn't even know. I was the guy in the class. Everybody was like, "Where were you, Renan?" We just wrote the exam. And I was like, "Yeah, the guy was like the king of stories." Okay. I was the
really?
king of stories. And I never told anybody about my learning disability. Okay. The knock-on effect of that is I grew up with a lot of shame as a result of it.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, but I didn't tell anybody. And maybe internally I just wanted to like prove that I can like fit in, or I could be like everybody else. And maybe that was the thing that got me through it, or it was just like, um, and also the accommodations at the end of the day, like it gave me the ability to like figure it out, right?
Right.
And then the gift it gave me was actually it turned me into a person that was able to overcome challenges because I constantly had to do it. Like I learned I had the muscle memory. By the time I graduated, I had the muscle memory on powering through things and anything. And I think that taught me that anything was possible. If I could make it through school, anything was possible. Because after school, it was like, oh, I could breathe. I was like, oh, now I could do things my way. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to start my own business.
Right. It made you much more resourceful, because you had to be,
100%.
right? But that's interesting. So you did grow up with the shame, but yet the shame worked to your advantage, because it worked as a positive, as a strength, right? Because it was kind of like you had to prove to yourself that you can do it and work through past the shame and like still do the
No,
things and become more
the
resourceful.
shame was that was a negative. I don't wish it on anybody. No one should grow up
How
with
how
that.
did your parents not even know when you got tested at 10? They didn't know that you got tested at 10?
No, they knew they
Okay.
knew. No,
I was like, did the people at school just come
no,
up to you, or what
they
happened?
knew. It's just my parents were classic, immigrants, and they didn't know how to deal with it,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh, the school system will deal with it, and we just
Oh, okay.
it
So
was
that's
more
what
like,
you meant.
yeah,
And so then like they gave you extra like, so the school tested you, they knew, but it was never like you weren't coddled at home because of it in any
correct.
way.
I came back.
Exactly.
I'm the king of C's. Okay,
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
lots of C's.
Uh, yep, that's
I'm the
okay.
king of
Me
C's.
too.
Occasionally, I got a B, and I come home with my report card. My parents were like, why is it just a C, you know? But it wasn't like, oh, it's a C because we understand that you got some other issues going on.
Right. They did it, and that was okay, and that worked though for your advantage because they didn't like emphasize it all the time.
They were not coddling. There was zero coddling.
I know. I mean, what about, okay, so let's talk about the shame for 1 second. So how
Okay.
did that manifest itself?
Shame causes you to not ask people for help and causes you to be shy. You know, I'm typically, I'm naturally a bit more of a shy, introverted person. I'm like somewhere in the middle, but it causes you to like even go deeper and just to be more in your own thoughts and
Hmm.
to not ask for help. And then, and then you have like self-esteem issues. There's a whole lot of knock-on effects.
No, but that, but
Probably for another podcast,
no,
but
no, but I think it's very important. I think it's
it's
part of why you're successful, though, right? Because you had to like, even with the shame, like you said, because of that, you never asked for help. So you had to figure things out on your own. It made you more resourceful because you didn't ask for help. Like also, like it made you more resilient. Like you got used to you got used to failing. So you got immune to the feeling of being a failure. So you kept on going. Like, I think shame can be a huge advantage if you're lucky and you like deal with it the right way, right? Like you started a business, you were 23 or 22
yeah,
years old.
I think I could have gotten there without it.
Why do
I
you
think
say that?
because I think that for me, I'm a very curious
Mm,
individual, right? And I'm curious, and I have some boldness in me, um, and I like trying different things. I like bringing things into the world. So I think it could have been an easier journey. I actually, I'm not an advocate, or I don't subscribe to the what we're talking about here, that like deep adversity brings you to success.
okay.
I think if you have the natural, um, everybody's got natural gifts inside,
Hmm.
and the gifts are the gifts, right? And they can be, and they're just deep. They're just there, and they can be expressed in many different ways. Um, and I don't believe in people having to suffer their way to get to
Suffer,
success, right?
what you don't
And
have to, but sometimes
and
that is the path. That's why
I,
some people get there because they had to go through all this suffering to teach them certain things or show them certain things
yeah,
or build their
but
character.
I agree. I just don't. I just
Not,
I don't wish the knock-on effects on anybody. And
yeah,
I also, there's certain things like I was very like I love reading the business section. Like I don't read sports. I still don't read sports today.
right.
And I was surrounded. My parents were small business entrepreneurs, and business was discussed in the house. And I got exposed to a lot of interesting people, and so there's a lot of things that led me
What did
to
they do?
this path. My parents were classic entrepreneurs, and they had a gallery in Toronto that sold Persian carpets.
Really?
Yeah, they sold Persian carpets, and I was like, and then I knew I used to go to my dad's place every Saturday and work, and I used to like roll the rugs. I was like a good roll rugger and rug roller and fold them and stuff like that. And I knew exactly that I did not want to go into retail.
That's right.
I
Okay, good. So
I knew I
a
didn't.
process of elimination of what you
Yes,
don't want to do. So
yes.
then how did the whole toy thing happen? Like give me the evolution of how it even began.
Well, it started when we were in university. Anton and I was my business partner,
Hmm.
who we were best friends growing up, and we swore we'd never go into business together.
Really?
Yeah, we swore we'd never go into business together until we had to pay for school. And then we were like, okay. And we were selling fertilizer door to door after our first year at
Where'd you go
university.
to school, by the
I
way?
went to Western.
You went to us. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, I went to Western. Um, and and we were selling fertilizer door to door, and that was like not so much fun. And we had noticed these sophomores that had just graduated. They created this product called Campus. We call it Campus Space. It's basically a collage of these posters. Collage of students that were taken during Frosh Week, and then around the collage of all these pictures, they would sell advertising, and they'd print up 9,000 posters and give them to the kids for free at the university campus. So they
Okay.
just graduated, and they weren't doing it anymore. So I said to Anton, like, why don't we just do it? And that's what we did. And within 2 weeks, we basically sold all the advertising and took deposits of $4,000. I remember I took 2,000 of the four and I went to Europe. I came back, and we finished. We produced posters and we distributed them. It was great. And then we ended up doing them at 5 other schools by the time we graduated. And Anton went to business school, and we kind of said to ourselves, we're going to do something in marketing when he graduates. We'll continue doing the posters and we'll figure something out. But we made this commitment to each other that we'll do something. We want to go into business for ourselves, which I think is like the key defining decision that you need to make. It's like, don't wait for the idea, just make the decision if you want to go into business for yourselves. So we made that decision. And then literally a month before Anton graduated from business school, my mother was reading this Israeli newspaper called the Entrepreneurship. And in there was a 2-page spread, okay, of these 6 different people that were manufacturing this product called the grass head. It was a small little kind of like,
Oh,
it's
like a chia pet kind of
it's kind of
deal?
like a new age version of a chia pet,
Okay, okay.
right? So it's a softball made out of grass seed nylon sawdust that has a happy face on it, and you put it in water and it grow grass for hair. And in the article, okay, classic, the Israelis, they love sharing all their secrets.
Yeah, yeah,
So, so they basically said that I added it up. It said it sold like 300,000 pieces in the country of 10 million, and no one was doing it in Canada. So I drove up to Western and I said to Anton, I was like, why don't we make these? And he thought it was crazy. And he basically said, I'm not in. Anyways, I convinced him. And finally, 2 weeks later, he said, I'm in. He graduated. Next thing I know, we're at like Kmart. We're buying all these raw materials, nylons, pantyhose, sawdust, like everything. Actually, no sawdust. I didn't sell it. But anyways, and then I got my brother-in-law. We gave him some profit sharing to help us figure out how to manufacture them. My sister to design the packaging. We gave her profit sharing on it. And we decided to make 5,000 pieces for Mother's Day. And it was the most magical 20 days of my life. Like, just like figuring out how to like
You
source
guys
it.
made them yourself.
Yeah, we made them
5,000 pieces.
5,000 pieces. I remember having this conversation with my mom. She's like, why don't you just buy it from the people in
I
Israel?
was gonna say that was why I'm confused. Why don't you just license it from them and just bring it to Canada or wherever?
Because I didn't want to give up the control. I didn't want to wait the time. I
The
knew
whole deal, the whole
I
thing.
didn't want to be in anybody else's hands. And I was like, it's easier to do it myself than to like call these people and figure it out.
Was it the Earth Buddy one? Is this the one?
Correct. Yeah, that's the Earth Buddy.
That's the Earth Buddy.
Yeah, so that was our product.
Okay.
So we make 5,000 pieces for Mother's Day. We start selling them in the streets of Toronto, and we sell like 700 pieces, and we're like, oh, we've got more in the warehouse. So we
5,000 is a lot to make on your own.
will try a million.
I can't even imagine. Well, but like 2 little kids, like 2 young guys doing it with their family, it's a lot.
Well, it's amazing. My brother-in-law is like my ex-brother-in-law, he's an autodidact. So he kind of figured it out, and we hired workers and we hired people from a homeless shelter, and then we just kind of like figured everything out. So we made these 5,000 pieces, and then we came back to work on Monday. We're like, we got more to sell. And 2 weeks later, we sold 26,000 pieces.
How are you selling them?
Well, basically what happened was through another contact, through my mother, she said, go meet this person. So I go and meet them. And it was the strangest meeting ever. Okay. It was like in downtown Toronto, and they sell closeout toys. Okay. And so for anybody listening, closeout toys are like what you sell to someone when it, like you can't sell them anymore. So we had this brand new product. We take it to the closeout person, and they're a lovely family, the Kotzer family. They say, yeah, we'll sell it for you. And we don't hear anything for 2 weeks. And then they call us back and they say, can we deliver 26,000 pieces? Because they sold it to Walmart in Canada.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
So then we moved factories, we hired more workers and stuff like this. And then the most magical thing happened was we got an order for 500,000 pieces from Kmart.
Within how much? Give me the time frame from when you started to make these you went to Kmart to get the seed, whatever, all the stuff, and you sold 700 on the street. What was the time frame between the 700 and the getting that like the purchase order for that many?
So basically, from the time we started selling on the street to the time we got the 26,000 pieces was 2 weeks. And then
Wow.
we sold to Roots. Remember Roots?
Yeah, of course
back
I
in the
know
day?
Roots.
Okay, Roots put us on the front counter of the store. So it was so
How
wonderful.
did
So
you do that? Do you know Michael Budman? Is that his name?
yeah, so it was Mike Budman, but we went there ourselves,
You did.
we showed him the product, and he was so nice. He was like, this fits with our brand and our ethos. And then we shipped a live grown Earth Buddy to every store so they can have it on display.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we broke into Zellers, into their
Zellers,
remember
yes,
Zellers
of
back in the
course.
day? Uh,
God, this is like so nostalgic. Okay, go on. Yes.
and then the craziest thing happened. So Anton was backpacking the year before in Europe, and he met this guy by the name of Aaron Hermelin. And Aaron lived in
Yeah.
Detroit.
I remember this from the book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me. I love it.
And so Aaron lived in Detroit, and his uncle owned the Palace where the Detroit Pistons played. So we kind of figured maybe they have some connection, stuff like this. So he called me and said, "Can you get us a meeting at Kmart Corporation?" And at the time, Kmart was the number one retailer in the world in the 90s. Bigger than Amazon, bigger than Walmart. They were it. So he says, "Yes, I can get you a meeting." And for some reason, I don't know why, I was the one that actually ended up doing the
Yeah.
sales call.
So why did you go? Why did Anton not go?
I have to tell you, I don't even know.
You know,
Still to this day, I don't know why. Maybe it was under the weather or something. I can't remember. So I go and I drive it. I leave my house at like 3:30 in the morning. I didn't even think about staying in a hotel, okay, and getting a good night's rest.
yeah, exactly. You're like, I'm
Save,
just going to save you
no,
money.
save money.
Yeah, of
And you're in
course.
20s, you're saving money, and you got the
Yes.
energy to do it. Of course, I could wake up at 3:30. And then I go there and I get there for 9 o'clock, meet the buyer, meet Aaron, meet the rep, and I pitch this buyer for 30 minutes. And he's a lovely gentleman. I'm in his boardroom, and he says, "I'm not the buyer for this product." And I was like, okay, maybe he's lying to me. So I'm like, I pitch him for another 15 minutes, and he doesn't say anything. And then after he says, "I'm not the buyer." Of which I said to him, "Well, we'll give it to you on consigned sales, and if it sells, like just pay us." And he said, I'm not the buyer." At which point I was like, if you're giving someone
Yeah.
something for free
And they still don't want
and
it.
they still don't want it. So I said, "Who is the buyer?" And he came back with this name, Adrian Zacks, on a piece of paper. I shook his hand, and I started walking around Kmart Corporation looking for this woman. And I was super lucky. She was sitting at her desk, and I said something to her in over 30 seconds, and she said, "I'll meet you at 3:30. You can come back to my office." I go downstairs, and the guys are like, "What happened?" I'm like, because I just left them. I didn't even say anything. I
And
just
you just
left
like,
them.
what? Yeah, you just walked out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was really lucky I was so young, because I look back now, if I was like probably 40, they would have kicked me out. And I think they probably thought I was someone's kid.
Probably. You were
Yeah.
like 22 years old. Yeah.
Um, and so they were like, "Let's go for lunch." So I'm like, "I'm not going anywhere." And I didn't leave, and I stayed there. And then I went up at 3:30, and I walk into her office, and it was so nice. It was like, it wasn't in the boardroom. It was in her office. She had this tiny office, this desk, and she was sitting behind it. And it was like cluttered with stuff. And she was a horticulture buyer. She had like these gnomes and all these different things around. Um, and then I noticed she had 7 other competing products sitting in her office, other grass sets from other people. Anyways, I gave her the whole spiel and told her everything about like the Earth Buddies and the factory and the campus spaces. I told her everything about my my life
Yeah.
up until that point. And then she did the most magical thing, and she gave me the vendor book, and she said, "I'm going to order 48,000 pieces, and if it goes well, I'm ordering 500,000 pieces from you." And and then I asked her for her garden gnome, which is a strange thing.
You did? Why did you ask her for that?
I just wanted something to like remember the occasion. It was almost like surreal. I didn't
S-
believe it was true.
So you got 48,000 from her. How
No,
did you
no,
find
48, and then a 500,000.
Yeah, then I have to go. But I was
Yeah.
going to say for the 48,000 first, because at these numbers, you're two young guys. You've never done this before. 2, 3 weeks prior, you were making them yourself, but you made 5,000. I don't know how you made 5,000. You had to like you had to find a factory at some point to like make this quantity, right? Had
No,
no? What do you
no,
mean
we
no?
we opened our own factory.
Well, okay. Already at this point, at 22, 23 years
Yeah,
old?
yeah.
At 20, okay, so this time frame is insane. So then you guys opened your own factory, hired factory workers. How did you do all this in like such a speedy amount of time?
We got a ton of energy.
Yeah, but like even like to find the people, like to interview the people, like to even know the materials, like the machines to buy, like what, like how did you do that?
Well, first of all, we built the machines ourselves.
Oh, even more so.
It was we were able to surround ourselves. The truth is, we were able to surround ourselves with amazing people. That's when we brought our third partner, Ben, in.
Okay, so what
Okay.
did Ben do for the company?
The irony is, Ben is the most creative person. He's not an operations person, but he ran the factory for the first 9 months.
I mean, this is
But like he
crazy.
ran the factory, but amazing things happened. Okay. Can I tell you, the first people we went to hire in terms of workers were people from a homeless shelter. Okay. It didn't work out that well, but two of the people, okay, that we hired from the homeless shelter stayed in our company for 5 years. And one of the gentlemen was a manufacturing savant. And he came into Ben's office, okay, after like 1 or 2 months of being in production. And he's like, you guys can go way quicker if you do things this way. And one morning, Ben came in and he had all these Gantt charts already all figured out. The guy figured out like the whole line flow. This is a man from a homeless shelter. So the universe just kind of like coalesced to bring the right people to us to make it happen. And we worked really hard. Like my brother-in-law came every night after he was a lawyer and he'd come to our factory and he'd work from like 6 to 11 o'clock at night and he'd build everything and he'd hire people to build it. And then we're working with different agencies to bring in workers. We had people from Vietnam, Sri Lanka, like all these different agencies were giving us workers. And then Ben was running the factory and I was ordering the raw materials and Anton was out doing sales and we started hiring people. It just kind of just happened.
So you basically then make 1 million of these Earth Buddies.
Right. And then to answer your question, how we got into the toy business. So now,
Oh, yeah, I was
now,
going to say,
now we're getting to the toy business part.
but wait, I'm still on the Earth Buddy thing because the fact the amount that like how my brain works is like I'm chronologically going through all the steps that have to take place for you to even be able to make even a fraction of that amount is absurd in that amount of time. People get stuck who are listening to this, they get stuck in minutia, like analysis paralysis for even like the first step, like, okay, how do I make two, never mind 1 million? Um, can you give a little in like if someone listening to this who's young in their 20s or not, when they're sitting on their couch and they go, I don't know how to I don't know how to do this. What would you say that one thing is that what that got you that ability just to like stop overthinking and just do?
First of all, make bite-sized decisions, right? Because we said we're going to make 5,000 pieces for Mother's Day. We didn't say we're going to sell 1 million pieces. So that was a bite-sized decision. The reason why we got 5,000 was because that was the minimum order quantity the printer would do for us.
Oh,
Okay,
right.
we probably would have done 2,000, right? So it was like, what's the most manageable thing you could do in this moment in time just to get started,
Mm-hmm.
right? And once you start, you unlock the magic.
Mm-hmm.
So
Momentum.
it's everything's about momentum. It's all momentum. Momentum brings you the luck into your life, right? So it was do it in a bite-sized chunk. Okay, don't overwhelm yourself because if you think so big, you're going to get like stuck and you're going to get doubt, and doubt is the anti-luck. So that'd be the first thing. The second thing I would say is think who's around you in your life, right? They can come in and help and participate in whatever you're doing. And I think that people have so much excess capacity, right? And so much desire to be included in something. And if you're the one with the idea, you can bring people along. And so think about who's in your network, and you can do things on a project basis. It's not like, we gave profit sharing. My brother-in-law got 5% profits on the Earth Buddies. My sister got 5% profits. We didn't pay him a cent.
Right.
They just put it,
Wow.
and then more than anything, they were invested in the upside. And when people are invested in the upside, boy, do they actually they're like, you unleash this incredible amount of energy,
Right.
right? So just think about who's around you and who's got what talents, and then don't be afraid to start telling people what you want to accomplish. And when you tell people what you want to accomplish, they're like, oh, I know this person, I know this person, I know that person, I know this. And then if you don't overthink it, like I didn't overthink going to the closeout guy, I didn't even know about closeouts. And he surprised us with 26,000 pieces. And then we went to Roots and like, so
So you made off of that one Earth Buddy. How much did you make off of that?
in the first 9 months, I think we grossed probably upwards of like, I think it's like $3 million in that 9 months.
And you guys, and like this was like your first major project. So you were like, how much does it make? How much did it cost you to make one of those?
It costs us about, I think about 60 cents,
And how much were you selling them for?
probably on average, like around 250, something like that.
Wow. So
Yeah.
then here you get the $1 million, all these are, and how long were you selling those for? How did that ricochet into a toy company?
Well, we we sold the Earth Buddies maybe for like 2.5 years, and I think maybe over the course we sold like 3 million pieces or something, 2.5 million pieces. But we knew very early on that this was a fad. It was a chia pet. It was
Hmm.
like a moment. There's something magical about doing it once, but you're not going to do it
Right.
more multiple times.
There's no longevity. You knew there was no
Yeah, we
longevity
knew
to
that
it.
going in, and there was a moment, and that's why we wanted to be like first to market. Um, and
But you weren't even first. Other people were doing it. You said that woman in the office had five different competing competitors, like five different green
correct,
things.
but I would say that we probably got at least 50%, 60% of the market
Why do you think that is? Was it a better product or was it just
because we didn't wait to get it from Israel, and we didn't.
speed?
It was speed to market, all of it. We were the quickest, and we were able to scale. It was those two things together.
So speed and being able to scale. I think the speed because people sit too long and then
Yeah, it
someone
was
else
like
comes and
it
does
was
it.
there. It was there. It was there in the ether. It was in the zeitgeist.
That's why I asked you about about why you didn't license it from Israel, because that would be the most obvious thing, right? Like just license the thing. But it actually would have you said something that
I,
it would have taken way too long to do that.
I couldn't even look the one Kmart, Adrian Zacks in the face
Hmm.
and say I can deliver the 500,000 pieces for you if we didn't have our own factory.
I mean, that's
we
pretty amazing
we were like unshackled. It was our
because you did it like from the you like owned it right away. So you didn't lot of people like do second like third party stuff. So
right.
would you say a big piece of advice would be if you could eliminate the third party starting a business, people listening, would you say that would be a really good idea and try to do everything yourself in house?
It's hard to make a blanket statement and
Hmm.
not knowing what type of businesses people have. I do think the more vertically integrated you are, the better it is
Hmm.
because your costing is better, your margins are better, right? B is that you're learning more about the whole process, and I think it's great to learn,
Hmm.
right? And so
And to know all the pieces that
to
are
know all the pieces that come into it, right? And then I think you can have much more creative control in what you're doing, and there's lots of knock-on effects that come along with it. But I think it really depends on the type of business
okay, fair,
itself.
fair. Okay, now go into how it
Yes,
started.
so it's like so we were in the horticulture business, and we did one follow-up. We did one thing which was called the herb garden, and it bombed. It was like basically growing herbs, and my sister was on the package.
Oh my
But
God.
so we knew that Earth Buddy was going to have a life to it, and about 6 months into the Earth Buddy, I started to notice the kids in Toronto were playing with this product called Devil Sticks. So I don't know if you ever remember those. It's just a three-piece juggling set for kids. You hold two sticks, and you got this bigger stick that's weighted on the end. It's got tassels, and you hit it back and forth. It starts to spin.
I kind of do.
Maybe, you know,
Yeah,
if you were a hippie back in the 80s and you went to Grateful Dead shows, you would see it
I kind of
then.
do.
So I went to a lot of Dead shows. And
Yeah, I
so
can see that. I could totally see you being a huge Deadhead.
you
You
know,
probably still are. Did you go see them at the Sphere in
I have not been to
Vegas?
Sphere. I am so upset I did
You
not see
missed
it
that? Oh, you would have
before
loved
Bob
it.
died. Yeah. So I used to play with them myself, and then I started to notice the kids were actually playing with them in the schoolyards in Toronto, and they were making them themselves. So I kind of put it together. I was like, something's here. Maybe there's a fad going on, and we had our factory. So I said, why don't we actually make some ourselves and see how it goes? And so we made our prototype. We made some packaging um, through the company that bought the 26,000 pieces from us for Walmart. They knew a rep company in the United States. And next thing I know, myself, Anton, and my ex-girlfriend, Melissa, are at New York at the Toy Fair in 1995. And we're there in like this back room with our like one prototype of the Devil Sticks. And whenever the buyer would come in, I would go out and I would juggle the sticks, and then I'd go behind the curtain again, and these reps broke us into Toys R Us and KB Toys, and suddenly we shipped the product into those accounts. And Devil Sticks was something was in the ether. There was something like in the zeitgeist for kids around this particular product that the moment we shipped it, it just took off.
Really?
It just took off.
So you're two for two, kind of like you found these two
Yeah,
juggernauts basically. First was the Earth Buddies that you found,
correct.
and second is this stick thing.
Correct. So at the end of that year of selling the stick things, devil
Yeah,
sticks,
yeah, devil sticks. Yep, other
we
AKA devil sticks.
aka devil sticks, so we sold 1.5 million of the devil sticks. We manufactured and shipped 1.5 million
In how long?
in that year, in that 12 months.
Wow.
And then we had a decision to make. We were like, should we go into horticulture or should we go into toys? And we were like, toys sounds a lot more fun.
Is that really what happened?
Yes, what happened? And so the third, and if you want a little more details, so our third partner, Ben, he left the business, okay, because he didn't like the manufacturing. Anton had the insight. He's like, let's bring Ben back into the business. Um, Ben comes back, and Ben's living with Jen Irwin. Do you remember Irwin Toys? They were the biggest Canadian toy company back in the day.
Kind of remember.
So the Irwin Toy family says to us, if you guys are going into the toy business, there's this list of 200 inventors around the world that come up with ideas, but they don't commercialize them. And here's the list. So Ben took the list and he started traveling around North America, meeting all these toy inventors and showing them the work that we had done so far and started to generate a bunch of ideas. And that's how we got into the toy business as a result of.
How does that work? Do you pay the inventors for ideas? How does that work?
Yeah, it's basically they come up with the ideas, they'll show you the ideas for free. And if you license one from them, you pay them a 5% royalty in perpetuity on the sales of the product.
So what was the first thing you took from that inventor?
Well, we started to meet with hundreds of inventors.
Yeah, what was the first one that you actually bought or
The,
licensed?
and I just want to I do want to say that after the devil sticks, we were marketing some like open source products and they weren't like very fancy just to pay the bills. But the first one we our first big toy product was a thing called Air Hogs. It was an airplane and you pumped it up. It had like a PT bottle and a little pneumatic engine and a propeller on it, and it would fly around for 45 seconds. And so these two British inventors, John Dix and Peter Manning, came to show it to me and Ben. And it was like the funnest day of my life. Okay, we'd go to the park. Okay, we flew the plane. You got to understand, back in the 90s, they only had the balsa planes or the Cox gas powered planes, which took off your finger. And so we go fly this airplane, and all I wanted to do was I wanted to pick it up and fly it again. And Ben wanted to fly it. And I'm 25 at the time, and I felt like a 7-year-old kid. And so we said to them, okay,
Yeah.
we want to license this from you. And we spent 2 years developing this product. Little did we know, and this is like the thing about being young and all the amazing things that happen to you. Everybody had turned down the product.
What do you mean? All the
They'd shopped it to all the toy companies.
so oh really? Okay, but they didn't take it out to the stores, like to
No,
the
no, it was still a
it
prototype.
was still a
It's still a
prototype.
prototype.
So all the other Mattels of the world,
Correct.
Irwin, whoever,
Mattel and Hasbro, the biggest guy, they turned it down.
they're all said no. Okay.
They all said no. But we didn't know it till about a year and a half later.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys said yes, and then what happened?
And then we basically took all the money we made from Earth Buddies, all the money we made from Devil Sticks, all the money we made from these small little tchotchke products that we're selling, and we put it into engineering and developing this very highly complex product.
So you believed in this product that much. You put all your money into that.
Everything.
How much did you sell of that product?
That product, at the time that we brought it to market, which was in 1998, we were doing $7 million in sales. And the year we launched the Air Hogs, we jumped up to about $35 million in sales.
So that was a great bet.
It was an amazing product. And then we became the kings of flight. We were producing flying toys for 15 years.
So who was the person that said we have to go out with this one? You?
It was myself and Ben, us together.
Okay. It sounds like, you've had some really good idea. Like you've got a very good vision for what's gonna like be where the puck is going, not where the puck is. Do you know what I mean?
Well, sometimes I can tell you that our 3 follow-up products after Air Hogs, we were still producing them, but we wanted to get into new categories and meeting with
Yeah.
new inventors. Okay. And all 3 bombed.
Which ones were they?
Don't Free Freddy,
Okay.
Tickle Secrets Baby. I can't even pronounce the name, and so it wasn't even a great name.
Okay.
And Key Charm Cuties.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. When did you
Re-
get the Rubik's Cube?
The Rubik's Cube, we acquired it in 2016, maybe
Oh.
2018.
Okay, so this was obviously a license because this has been around for 100 years, right? Like
No, we acquired it. We bought it.
you bought. Okay, but wait. So you bought it.
We bought.
You didn't license it originally.
No, no, we had nothing to do with the Rubik's Cube up until 2018.
You bought it. What
Correct.
made you buy it?
In the toy business, to have an iconic brand that's got like 99% word of mouth
Yeah.
awareness, it's like it's very rare that it comes along.
So how much did you buy it for?
We paid about $55 million for it.
Did you make your money back on it?
Yes.
Really? How many Rubik's Cubes have you sold in the last 10 years?
I don't know the number, but I think we do, it's millions of cubes a year.
You sell millions of these still a year.
Oh yeah.
Well, so what would you say
The
with
crazy thing about the Rubik's Cube is like it's part of culture, it's part of
I
society.
was going to
Like,
say that.
yeah,
It's a major part of culture. Would you like, I was going to say, what of all the toys in the world, where would Rubik's Cube fall as one of them in icon history? Probably in the top three.
No, I wouldn't say top 3, but maybe top 10.
What's number one?
Probably Barbie.
Oh, Barbie. That's
Barbie,
right.
Hot Wheels, Lego. Right.
That's true. Okay, what's number 5? Okay, let's go. This is actually very interesting. Okay, most iconic toys of all time with the iconic Ronnen. Number 1?
Ronnen.
Ronnen. I say Ronnen.
Ronnen.
Ronnen. Number 1 is Barbie.
Barbie.
Number 2 is Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Number 3 is Lego, you said? Lego. 4?
4.
This? No?
No.
You don't think so?
What else have we got in our? I'd say, I'd start to go things like but they're licenses. Like I was thinking about like Star Wars or but pure play toys from scratch. Those are the three biggest. There's things like Etch-a-Sketch.
I bet you if we chat GPT it will tell us.
That you want to
You
chat
did?
to?
What is it? Rubik's Cube. I was right.
Seriously?
Rubik's Cube is number 1.
According to who? Chat?
Okay, so I'm not even in the toy business, my dear.
You're hired.
You should have hired me for innovation. Was that not right? So Rubik's Cube is number 1. What's number 2? Lego is number 2. What's number 3? Barbie is number 3. Hot Wheels number 4. Yo-Yo
Okay,
is number 5.
so I sold this a little short,
Oh my gosh.
but I had the top 3.
You own this and you didn't know it was the number 1 toy of all time?
Because I'm thinking about sales and revenue and other topics.
You own the number 1 toy, the most iconic toy of all time. You own, and you didn't even know that. You thought it was Barbie. By the way, so did I. That's insane. Wow. And by the way, I was still stuck on the fact that you guys created Paw Patrol, or you guys licensed Paw Patrol, or you created it.
No, we created it.
So you actually created Paw Patrol.
It's our baby.
Okay. If you're a parent listening to this episode, this is insane. Paw Patrol's I'm surprised Paw Patrol's not even on that. Where's Paw Patrol on that? You must have sold, what, $100 million a year on just Paw Patrol? More. 200 million a year on Paw Patrol?
I can't tell you the exact number. It's a lot.
300 million?
It's a lot.
400 million?
It's a lot.
Because this is how people like these facts. We're going to clip this because this is going to go viral. Because people, if you're a parent or someone who knows, you know. I would say, what, $500 million a year just on Paw Patrol?
It's a multi-billion-dollar franchise. That's what I can tell you.
This is what I'm going to say. Okay, I would say maybe even $1 billion a year on Paw Patrol.
No, now you're going a little bit.
Because I'm going to tell you why I say this.
You're going a little bit, getting a little excited.
One of our Chaim Saban, another Israeli, he created the Power Rangers, his company, right?
Right.
And when he sold it to Fox, he made $4 billion just on that one thing on Power Rangers. The fact that you had Paw Patrol as just one of this massive umbrella of like fantastic, iconic, legendary toys, I can't even imagine how much money Spin Master has made or how much you're worth. I can't even imagine. Paw Patrol's like it's like not even something we're even talking. You're like, yeah. I don't even know. You didn't even know that Rubik's Cube was #1 in the world in iconic products. This is absurd. I
Well,
mean, what you guys have created is like this will live on in like forever for every child in the world. Like my kid, someone who's being born right this second, 20 years ago, like they all play with these things. Is that not insane?
just I'm taking it all in as you're talking about it.
It's pretty remarkable. Like,
Thank you.
I'm just thinking of, when I first moved to LA and when I met Chaim Saban, and he was like, everyone was like, he was like such a like everyone was like such a big macher, which is like a big deal,
Right.
like because he
Right.
sold Paw Patrol, oh, yeah, all these billions and blah blah blah, and he was a big philanthropist, and it's funny, like everything in life is so relative, right? Cut to how many years later we're talking about like like Paw Patrol, which is much bigger than Power Rangers, and you're like, I don't know, maybe it's like it's not even part of the
No,
conversation.
what do you mean not part of the
Like
conversation?
it's like a throwaway because there's been so
No,
many other things. Paw Patrol's
no,
big, but like,
no.
okay, this is big. This is massive.
Listen, first of all, nothing's a throwaway. Everything is like so much time, care, attention.
Like
Like
how did it happen?
stuff doesn't just happen. Like Anton, he actually was running mergers and acquisitions for us for many, many years. And like he managed the relationship with the people that owned Rubik's for probably 15 years.
Mm.
He kept in touch with them. He was always calm.
Did you distribute them at the beginning or
Nope,
no?
no,
No
we didn't have
relationship.
any relationship with them. We just knew them as a result of being in the industry.
Okay.
Our whole thing at Spin Master, like we went to every trade show, every event, anytime we could be in front of people,
Mm.
right? Our whole ethos in our business is, okay, we're open to ideas wherever they come from. That's our ethos.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll partner with people. We're the partnership company, right?
Oh, okay.
Right? Because you can do bigger things when you partner with other people,
Totally.
especially when you don't have the equities at the beginning, right? And when I say equity, I'm just talking about like
Right.
competence.
So he maintained that relationship.
So anyway, yeah, I'm going a bit far afield, but he managed that relationship for many years. And then when they were ready to sell, and it was actually complex, it was actually owned by like 4 different people, and they had there was issues there, and Anton was able to manage it, and that's his gift, is managing people, and then we bought
So
it.
he's like a people person.
Yeah, it was just a moment in time.
Yeah. It's a good moment in time.
But it's also so everything's like nothing's throwaway. Like it's
Well, no, what I mean by the throwaway is when you think about the magnitude of some of these iconic brands that, there are blockbuster movies being made of. These are like this is like historic brands that have like really impacted
Yep.
like life. Like my kid used to love like I would put on Paw Patrol every single morning,
Yeah.
right? Because then like that would calm them down. You know what I mean? Like my daughter liked the piggy one. What was that one?
Peppa Pig.
Peppa
A
Pig.
great show. Amazing show.
Do you own Peppa Pig
No,
too?
no, no.
No, you should. Can you
I-
get the rights for that? Can you buy
No,
Peppa Pig?
Hasbro paid $3.5 billion for E1, and in the E1 deal came Peppa Pig. So I don't think they're gonna give
Oh,
it up.
that one's
Yes.
a juggernaut also.
Yes, that's great.
Huh.
Amazing. I love the show.
Peppa, it's a good show.
Also created by British people, and Paw Patrol was also created by a British person.
Okay, so tell me how Paw Patrol happened.
Paw Patrol happened first of all, happened at the lowest point in our company. Okay, because our company was doing about $1 billion in sales at the peak of Bakugan. And then we lost half our sales. For 16 years in a row, our company was profitable. And then in year 17 and 18, we lost money for 2 years straight.
Why?
Because there was too much hubris,
Mm.
right? And too much believing like everything you touch is going to turn to gold. Everything's going to be great. We can launch tons of products at the same time. We weren't being very judicious at that moment in time. We got ahead of our skis. We hired so many people. We were just like, everything's just going to work out great.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have the experience to realize that, as fast as something like a Bakugan can go up, it can also come down. And also you need to have the consistent reoccurring revenue underneath to maintain growing your company. And so that was one of the most painful moments in my personal career, because we had to let go of 350 people in our company.
Mhm.
We had to do 4 restructurings, right? And we weren't even mature enough at the time. Like we probably could have got it done, and we should have gotten done at 2. But like to be able to do it 4 times, people felt so unsettled in that 24-month
Right.
period, right? So during that time, we said, okay, we really need to be much more judicious with what we're doing and give everything a lot more time, attention, and care. And we still wanted to stay in the entertainment business after Bakugan started to go down. So we said, what else can we do? And we actually launched 3 shows post Bakugan. They all failed. Redekai, Tenkai Nights, and Little Charmers. You could not give away the show, and you could not literally take the product off the shelf at retail. Like I thought it was like stuck with glue. Okay, like I tried
Really?
because there was so much product there. Like it was like no one was taking it. Like
It was
like
that bad. Wow.
the most important, like when you walk retail and you see the empty shelves, you know that brand's doing well.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
if the shelves are full, it just tells you straight away. The easiest way to know if something's doing well or bad. Um, and
There's an abundance of your product over there for that while.
say again.
There was an abundance of your TV products or
Yeah,
whatever
you go
entertainment
in one
product.
week, you come back next week, it's still the same.
Still,
Just nothing moved off the shelf. It was like stuck.
that's
Yeah, it's
hilarious.
stuck. It's funny, but not funny. You're
Yeah.
just like
Well, it's not
so,
funny.
so, but we still wanted to stay in kids, and so we said to ourselves, let's try to do something in preschool, and let's try to do something around preschool and transformation because transformation was such a magical play pattern for children. And so we created this brief, and we sent it around to 5 different creators around the world. And the creator that I really wanted to work with was Keith Chapman. He created Bob the Builder, and
Yes.
yeah, which is a great show.
I love that one too.
And so
Yes.
I have this whole thing where I love being around lucky people,
Hmm.
right? I'll mark a person like you're a lucky person, right? So I just want to like be close to you.
Are you sure I'm a lucky person?
I think you're pretty lucky.
How do you know?
I don't know. You got good energy.
Thank you.
You got energy.
Thank you.
So, and you make things happen,
I do.
right? So,
So do you. Obviously.
so anyway, so Keith Chapman was like, I really wanted to work with him. And he came back with this really interesting take about these 5 pups that go on these rescue missions. It was originally called Robbie and the Rescue Pups.
Okay.
And but the crazy thing was that he didn't actually follow the brief. The brief was about transformation. So he gave us this story about Robbie and the Rescue Pups, but had nothing to do with transformation.
Right.
But we loved it so much, and we loved him. And we said, okay, let's start. And we went and started developing it. We found an incredible director, Jamie Whitney, incredible writers. We found an incredible studio. Just by the way, like Paw Patrol is 100% Canadian. Canadian
I
director.
was just going to say that I had no idea. Does anybody know that Paw
No.
Patrol is Canadian?
No, very, very. I know it
I
upsets
can't
you.
believe this. I can't believe that Paw Patrol is Canadian.
Yes, 100% Canadian. That's why all the pups are so nice, and
Of course.
Captain Turbot, Venture Bay is from British Columbia. It's modeled off a bay in British Columbia.
Do you own
So-
the TV show?
Yeah, it's ours. We
You
partnered.
own the rights and all of that?
Yeah, we created it and we sold it, and we partnered with Nickelodeon. So they're our partner on the sales, distribution, and licensing merchandising.
Do you have a swimming pool of money that you just swim in and dive into every day?
Listen, a lot of it gets reinvested back into the business and all the people
I can't even think of, there's like a million of this is remarkable. Your mom must be just like she must be just unbelievably so proud of you.
Thank you.
She's cavelling every minute of the day, I'm sure. That's a Jewish word, people. Is she just going around bragging about her son on a regular basis? What you've done
Listen,
from an immigrant parent, I understand what a massive, this on every level, this is amazing. Between the disability, learning disability of immigrant parents, you weren't handed a bunch of money. You literally did this on your own.
Correct.
Legitimately, you did this on their own. I have to again say, and I say this a lot on this podcast, I'm a big believer of self-made, and there's very few people are ever really self-made. They sit here and they go on and on about how they've done this and that and the other. Meanwhile, they were given a majority of it. You are legitimately full on self-made, which is why you're so impressive to me. I think it's incredible. Your mom, Miss,
You guys are like 2 peas in a pod.
really?
I got to introduce you guys.
I
You'll have
want
a
to
great
meet your
time
mom.
together.
What did she say the same thing to you?
In terms of what?
Did she say this to does your mom say this to you?
Once in a while.
I better talk.
Once,
I want to
once,
meet your mom. When
yeah, I
when
will.
can we make that happen? Is your mom where does she live now?
She's back in Canada for the summer, so we can.
Is she where is she? Where in Toronto?
She's in Toronto. Most of the time she's in Israel, but she's back in Toronto for the
Is she
summer.
feisty? I bet you she's like,
She's like, if my mother was 20 today, she would have like 10 million followers on Instagram. She has no filter.
oh, I love your mom
She loves,
already.
yeah.
I love her. I love
You
her.
know, she's like super chatty. She's a people person. She loves people, and she just tells it to you straight.
I love she's
Yeah,
straight.
yeah,
Good.
yeah.
You're right. We'll
Straight.
be BFFs.
Yeah,
I love her already. I really appreciate people like that
yeah.
because we don't have enough of them anymore. Everyone stands on ceremony and has to care so much of how they appear and look and feel. I hate that.
No, not my mother.
Yeah. But this is probably why you are who you are. Your mother, like your mother created some like you and she believed in you and she let you do whatever you wanted to do. That's what oh, you love your mom. Oh my God, I love you because you love your mom. Oh my God, I'm
I'm
so in love
talking
with you
about
right
Rubik.
now.
Okay, let's
Oh,
move
because
on.
you love your mom. Oh my God, you're so good. You're such a great little, I love you. Okay, I'm gonna cry. So let's move on. Okay. Paw Patrol. So then here you are doing the Paw Patrol, and then what happens? You
And
get the
then,
rights. I mean, you do all the TV, and then
so we,
that was a juggernaut in itself.
it was, we took it to Nickelodeon. We actually pitched them, and it was myself and Jen and Keith Chapman and Adam Beater, and we brought a bunch of toys that we made. And Seema, who was the president of Nickelodeon at the time, she said, "Okay, let's partner on it. We're going to buy the show from you." And yeah, and it was just a magical thing. We'd never produced a preschool show, and they were our partners, and they helped us, with giving us notes on the show. They get full credit for the theme song, right? Because we tried to break the theme song, we just couldn't get it right,
Right.
and they pointed us in the right direction to work with these people who were incredible at writing music. And then it hit the airs in 2013, and I knew, and you're a social media person, so you'll appreciate this. I used to go on Instagram, okay, and I used to check in the first like 2, 3, 4 months how many birthday cakes were being made for kids with Paw Patrol
Yeah.
characters. And I kept on seeing, I was like more and more and more and more. And then I was like, then I knew that something was happening here. And then our toys hit and our toys did really well.
Oh,
And then we put out our second season, and then we said, okay, let's try to get Paw for 5. Let's try to get 5 seasons of Paw Patrol made, done. Let's not jump the shark. Let's keep the same tone and tenor. And then we hit 5 years. And then after 5, we said, let's do Paw for 10. And then we did 7 seasons of Paw Patrol. And then by our 7th, 8th season, we said, okay, let's change the mantra. We're going to do Paw forever. And
forever?
forever. Like
Forever. You said pop, we're going to do pop forever.
forever.
Like ever, ever.
Ever, ever, ever. Every single year, we're going to come out with 52 new episodes of Paw Patrol, okay, with special themes every single year without fail,
Okay.
right? And that's what we've done. Now I think we're shooting our 15th season,
Okay. How
and
is it doing now versus how it was doing back then?
it's doing very well.
Like,
Doing
what's
very
the,
well.
like, I'm curious because
Like
I
it's,
remember when my
it's,
kids were small.
we're very blessed. It airs in over 180 countries around the world, and it's the number one.
Still,
It's the number one show for preschoolers
still,
in the globe, right?
still.
And it touches probably, you know, I'd probably say, 12 million new kids every single year. And if you add it up over the years, it's touched over like 200 million kids.
You don't understand. I know because I had a Paw Patrol cake for my kid.
I probably saw you on
You
Instagram.
probably saw my cake. So where is it? Can you chat GPT this? Where's Paw Patrol in relation to Peppa Pig, Bob the Builder? There's one other one that everyone used to watch too.
There's Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer,
There's today you have Peppa the Pig. You have Bluey, which is very popular today. That's our biggest competitor today.
Bluey.
Yeah,
Peppa Pig was the one that's the one people always talk about. I
it's a
remember
classic.
it's
It's
classic.
a
My
classic.
kid will,
It's been running probably for 20 plus years.
yeah. Again, number one. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah, that's it. I forgot about Daniel Tiger. I loved
Yeah, Dan and Chad was a good show.
Daniel Tiger is a
Good
great
show.
show for kids
Good
too.
show.
And so what? Well, Sesame Street's you mean
Classic.
Paw Patrol beat out Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Do you walk around with like 7 security guards?
No, I have zero
You
security.
should. I mean,
I have no,
you're telling me that
I have no social media, so I'm
I know
like,
nobody knows anything about
yeah,
anything. So you're trying to tell me that Paw Patrol is the number one, you own the number one show and the number one toy of all time.
I
Yes.
guess so, according to Chad.
And you didn't even know this?
Well, I knew the stat on Pod, and I wasn't.
Where's Peppa Pig in that? I forgot I put Sesame Street.
We get an official rank because I'm seeing Blu-ray here too.
Yeah, Blue's up there, but I think that the real thing is longevity, right?
You have it.
It's the longevity, and you know, we actually it was something we learned from Bakugan because we weren't able to do it, keep Bakugan going, and there was a lot of lessons there, and there was a lot of failures that we applied to Paw. So like the one thing I would say is like this is like Paw Patrol didn't happen. It's Paw Patrol happened in our 19th year of business. So we were in business for 19 years. Okay. We were students of animation and how people were producing shows. We were going to MIPCOM from like 2001. We'd go to France every single year. We were reviewing everybody's TV shows and we were learning the business. So all this type of stuff, like it's important to know, like it just doesn't just happen. It was 19 years worth of work before we.
But out of the gate, you were fortunate enough to have a big success with the Earth Buddies. You bought the Rubik's Cube in 2016, you said, 13, 16, massive. That airplane thing, $35 million, but like, so yes, you could say 19 years to get to Paw Patrol, but you had one massive success. Yeah, you had some failures and then you had another success. I think the real big point is that people should not be giving up if they fail because you never know what's around the corner, right?
Totally.
Right? That's the big thing. Like life is full of hills and valleys, basically.
Yeah, we got super lucky with our first animated show called Bakugan, which ran for 4 seasons, and then our 3 next shows, which we talked about,
Failures.
So we could have given up, but we didn't. We were just like, let's keep staying at it.
What would you say? I think because this is what's interesting. You have these two business partners, Ben and Anton. A lot of times people fail fail or lose because they pick badly, right? What do you think the secret sauce is to partnering? And like, how did you guys make it work? Because personalities usually can clash, especially as you get bigger and bigger and more successful.
Yeah, I think that the ability to say sorry. Okay,
Sorry.
Sorry is a strong one for partners.
Yeah.
Like if you can't say sorry to your partner, like just like give up and just, move on to something else.
Yeah.
We fought all the time. We micromanaged each other for years, and there was so much like, tension that came out of the micromanaging. But we had healthy debates. I think the thing that led to better decisions, and not always the right decisions, but good decisions, came from the healthy debate that we had amongst the 3 of us, and that was cascaded out to a larger group as the company grew. It was the ability to have that conversation, but at the same time, when the right idea popped out in the conversation, to recognize it and don't have any ego attached to it.
Okay.
Right. And then you're like, okay, and let's just run with it. And we'd repeat that and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. And then there was other parts, which was just the trust and respect. And then there was other parts in terms of like, we had the same ethics, right? We always wanted to treat our partners well. Ben was always like, it's okay if we paid an event or an extra half a point or an extra point. Like if they're making money, like that's great. And we're making money, that's great. So
right.
we always had the same ethos. We had this situation in our second year of business. Someone wanted to actually encourage us to buy a whirlpool for a buyer.
A whirlpool for the, okay.
Yeah, you can do more business at this retailer if you buy the buyer a whirlpool. Yeah, so it's back.
That's a strange thing to buy, but okay.
We wanted it for his backyard.
Yeah, well, I figured not for like his office. Yeah, you know what I mean? I didn't think he was buying it for his, bathroom. Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like,
you wanted a bride, basically.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I was picking up what you were putting down.
Yes.
Yeah.
We didn't even consider it. So like our ethics were always aligned. So like ethics, our work ethic.
Yeah.
Right. The work ethic's a big one. Like we were all working super hard, right? And we recognized that there was also a big thing, which was we recognized that we work differently, and we respected that.
Big one.
Yeah.
Like I know how you work, right? You don't like graphs and PowerPoints. What is your methodology?
No, when I'm just talking about like Like,
No, I know what you mean, but
yeah.
I'm saying like everyone
No,
does it differently. How were they? What was their, how did they work? How did you work? Like what was your lane? What was
you mean in
Anton's
terms
lane?
of things we actually did in the business
Did,
or
and also like
style?
yeah, style and focus.
Well, I did in the early days product development operations,
Yeah.
and then I moved into the entertainment side of the business. Ben did product development and creative, and Anton did like HR and sales.
Okay. Were you guys
Right.
all like equal partners?
Uh, Anton and I were equal partners because we started the business, and Ben was an equal partner in terms of uh, being treated as a partner, but his equity stake was lower than ours because he came in afterwards.
So what happened, by the way? You guys sold the business or you guys,
No, we took the business public in 2015,
okay. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
so
Yeah.
we're a public company today.
How's the stock?
Not great, not great.
Why? You have all these massive,
Listen, that's a whole podcast in
it
itself,
is, but this is what people
but
want to, what I want to know. You can come back again.
it's
You don't live here though, but
it's basic. I can tell you that it's very multifaceted. Um, but the most important thing if you're a public company, you should never miss your numbers. And if you miss your numbers, then the street loses confidence in your ability to grow consistently. And no one loves anything inconsistent. So that's the root why we're missing some numbers. We missed our numbers over a number of years. One is like some bad luck, things like tariffs, it doesn't help our business.
that was my next,
Uh,
I had a question about
yeah,
the
like the
tariffs.
tariffs, and this year it's oil and stuff like that. But we're back on track. But a lot of it, the root of it is that we, when I stepped down from co-CEOing the business, myself and Anton, the transition to bring in an outside CEO, we didn't manage it as well as we should manage it the first time. And there's a lot to be said about culture. The most important thing in a business is culture, right? And the thing that you have the most valuable asset, which is more valuable than even the brands and the franchises, is your culture, because your culture is your ability to replicate what you've done over and over again. And if you lose that part of the culture, that replication factor, then your company can't continue doing what it's done before. And so our culture shifted in the last number of years, and we're on track to bring it back.
Mm.
But I think that's a big part of why the stock is not where it is, where it's truly valued, because it is not really representative of where the company's
No, I
at.
mean, it's not at all,
No,
right? When did you step down as CEO?
2021.
Also, you did, okay.
Yeah.
What made you to step down?
It's a combination between the co-CEO model wasn't working anymore.
Why? So you guys were co-CEOs this whole
Co-CEOs.
time?
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so what made it stop working?
It was it just, it just got tired, a little bit old. And yeah, it just got tired. It just got tired. It's like being married for a long, long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know what I mean? This is like being married for a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
understand. Have you ever been married?
I've never been married.
And you know
I,
kids,
I don't have kids.
but you have a toy company.
I've been married to two business partners,
Yeah.
but personally, I haven't been married.
And what about so then you decide to step down and then who becomes the CEO?
Yeah, so we searched for like a year, and we brought someone in from the outside.
Who is the guy?
His name is Max Rangel. And
Where did he come from?
he did a lot of his career at P&G, and
Mm.
before he came to us, he was at SC Johnson. So he was a classically
Yeah,
trained
he was a trained
classically
CEO.
trained CPG,
Ugh.
CP, CEO.
Mm.
Which listen, he did
Mm.
a great job. But I think that the biggest learning for us is like, first of all, any transition with a CEO is very difficult, um, and you have the highest chance of success if you bring someone in from the inside. Right? It's very hard to bring people in from the outside.
Very.
Yeah. So now
Especially when they're classically trained to be
yeah,
a CEO. It's a
yeah,
different mindset than someone who grinded it out.
correct. So now we're on our second CEO, female, Christina Miller.
When did that start?
She came about 10 months ago.
And where is she from?
Most of her tenure was at Cartoon Network. So she came from the entertainment
To do
background.
what? What was she doing at the Cartoon Network?
She was president. She was running the network there.
And then how many employees did that place have?
I think that part of it was maybe a couple thousand.
How many employees? You guys have thousands though, right?
We're about 3,000.
Around the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so then you've stepped down. So what would you say? Okay, I have a couple of questions. I'm going to do some rapid fire with you if you don't mind. Do you
Okay.
mind?
No.
Don't you have a plane to catch? Or is it your plane? So I'll wait for you, Tony Stark.
No, it's not my plane. I could fire up the jet. No, I need to go back to the office and actually shoot some social media stuff.
You're going to shoot some social. Is he really making you do this?
No, listen, no one's making me do anything.
Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to do what is
That's
the
not
if
it.
if I were you and I
It
had all the money like you and I was all the success as you, why would you put yourself like on display like that? Just what's the point? You don't need to.
it's to get the book out. And I think the book will
Is it all for the book?
it's all for the book. There's nothing else. I have no other reason to do it.
Like
but
you're not going
it's
to be doing a fitness video. You're gonna do like squats and lunges on there. Okay,
no,
wait.
I truly want the people to find out about the book. So I'm trying to meet people where they're at.
Okay, so you're basically going to go back to the office and do some like chit chats about the book?
Yeah, like people are going to interview me and I'm going to give answers.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to interview you some more and you can give
Okay.
me answers. Are you ready?
Okay.
First question. And try to keep it brief so I can
Okay.
make it into like a clip. Can you
Okay.
do it?
I'll try. It's not my skill, but I'll try.
Okay, try your best. When someone has a creative idea they are excited about, how can they tell if it is actually worth building into a real business?
If they feel it in their body.
Okay. So you felt
And
the earth buddy in your body.
yeah, if you actually if you feel it in your intuition, your own internal knowing, it's a good sign. And I would also say if you have a lot of resistance, it's a good sign too.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
Because usually people are more resistance. Resistance comes up when you really want to go towards something.
Interesting. That could be with anything in life. What separates someone who struggles to get their idea off the ground from someone who builds $100 million company or $1 billion or multi-billion-dollar company?
The inability to overthink things.
This is not on my list, but what do you think makes a really good entrepreneur?
Instincts.
If someone has a business idea but no money to build it, what is the smartest first step?
Make a prototype and meet as many people as you can to pitch.
What if the prototype costs money?
Make even a smaller prototype.
What do you say the most important character trait someone has to have in order to be successful? That's my question. Not
In-
on here.
Integrity and passion.
If you can only say one quality,
Integrity.
why?
Because everybody that you partner with and everybody that you interact with is going to make their decision based on who you are as a person. It's most people make things rational decisions, but most of the decisions people make is based on a feeling. And if they trust you, they're more inclined to say yes to you.
Which is a good segue into my next one. What do you think is more important to be successful in life? Likability or competence?
Competence.
Competence?
Competence.
Really? Why do you say that?
Because at the end of the day, like it's your competence that's going to deliver the end result. And at the end of the result, that's what really matters.
We're living in a time when you don't have to be competent, you don't have to be smart, you don't have to be capable. You know, it's all about facade, right? Like for example, like I did this whole talk about I believe the most undervalued quality in somebody's success is likability because it's the likable person. Like your competence or your degree can get you in the door, but your likability will get you the job, right? Your competence may get you to do the busy work, right? Like the C student will be the boss to the A student,
Right.
right? I'm a big believer in that. Like I think people want to be around, work with, date, all the things with someone that they like, not with someone who's just competent. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
no, I totally
Not
listen.
because it's right, not because it's right, but because it's what actually human nature gravitates you to.
I totally agree with you. I would love to say that you need to have both.
Ideally, if you have both, you're set. Like I'm also, what do you think is more important, talent or work ethic?
Work ethic.
Work ethic, me
Work
too.
ethic for sure.
100%.
For sure.
You could be the most talented
For
person in the
sure.
world. Like,
For
I'm a
sure.
big work ethic person. I don't believe in balance. I think that's a load of shit. I don't think most people have. I think people who could say, I want to have a balanced life.
Right.
Like, if you're going to be successful in anything, there's going to be an imbalance. It's just what it is. You have to be obsessed, in my opinion, for something to really take off.
Yep. 100%.
Do you agree with that?
It has to be very, very important to you, and you got to have the passion for it to break through.
Like,
But I do.
how important was being successful to you?
I think first of all, the definition of success
Mhm.
is so different to so many people.
What is your
And
definition of success?
I think the definition of success for me is living an aligned life, doing the things that match with how you want to be in the world. And if you're incongruent to that, then you're unsuccessful. Right. So
Yes, I agree with that.
Right.
So what is a successful life look like to you?
I think successful life is giving yourself the permission to do the things you want to do in your life. That's successful.
Okay.
I think that betting on yourself is an important thing about success in life. Listening to your own internal knowing, and following what I know it sounds trite, but at the end of the day, like only you know what you want to do in your life, and
Mhm.
everybody around you, everybody's well-meaning. They got great intentions for you. Okay,
Right.
right. But I think about this a lot. Like it's hard for us to put words to things, right?
Mhm.
And so at the end of the day, sometimes it's counterintuitive, but to trust yourself and to listen to yourself and to listen to different parts, not to over intellectualize everything. It's a very difficult. We're not trained to do that. We don't live in a society like that.
Mhm.
But I think that if you can, then you're being true to yourself, and there's nothing more successful than being true to yourself at the end of the day. And you're not living anybody else's life,
Right. You're
right?
living your own. Yes, 100% agree with that. What would you want someone, if they can only have one takeaway from this book, what would you want it to be?
That you own your decisions in your life, and that it's important for you to make them. It's important for you to surround yourself with good people and open and have discussions. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. And what I would say is, like, I'd love for the book to be a a creative, resourceful tool to create discussion and dialogue with the closest people around you, given what you want to potentially do in your life, whether or not it's business or whether or not you want to do something in arts. Use it, and you're in your 20s, use it as a tool to create dialogue and discussion with yourself and with others, and see what comes from it.
One question I wanted to ask you, because it's very aligned with what I speak about, is you talk about the power of not knowing,
Correct.
right? And I talk about your naivety as a superpower, right? Do you want to give us an example of something that showed up in your life where that was so evident?
Back to Paw Patrol. We created a movie for Paw Patrol in 2020,
Mm.
and we've got our third one coming out this August.
Of course
And
you do.
well, we're Paw Forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Forever?
Forever.
Forever.
Forever. Mickey Mouse is forever.
That's right. So is Paw.
We want it to be Paw Forever. We're going to try our hardest to be Paw Forever. So
Wow.
I was naive enough to think that we can make a film, and we did. And
Yep.
no one believed in us, actually. We actually had to greenlight the film ourselves, right? And because everybody was like, it's like to create a film for Paw, it's like it's for preschoolers. How are you going to do a motion picture for preschoolers? But I was like, there's got to be a way to do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't have it all figured out, but we figured it out. We got it done. But I was naive to, like, there's still a little bit of naivety in, like, in everything I still do. So that's one example.
It's very
I think it's the most wonderful thing to actually not be that. I think decisions are an art and a science. You have to know your space in the competition and what's come before you. But once you've connected all the dots, a little bit of naivety of what's possible, dreaming a little bit.
Yeah.
I connected the naivety to the dreaming, to being a dreamer.
I
Same
also
time.
think that naivety also, like, what you don't know actually is an advantage, because sometimes when you're too seasoned, too experienced, that's when the overthinking happens. And then you like, you talk yourself out of doing whatever that is.
Well, I want to end on this because it's like everything sounds rosy on this podcast. I think I'm the only person in Los Angeles
Yeah.
Because I lived here from 2008 to 2010,
Uh-huh.
and I worked on creating the Bakugan film.
Okay.
Okay, and because, anyways, and it took me 4 years. I finally got an offer from Universal to do a $100 million live action film. They were ready to greenlight it, and we said no.
You said no?
Said no. Can you imagine?
Why?
Because of exactly what we're talking about. Because we had this thing in our mind was like, based in toy history, if a franchise has slowed down in sales, you can relaunch to a next generation of kids 7 years later. And we said to ourselves, if we do the film, it's going to extend out the franchise, even though, and we may not get sales against it. So now we're going to have to wait like 9 years. And we said, we didn't want to wait. We wanted to we were like patiently wait. So I used conventional norms, okay, and made a really bad decision. And I still look back today and I'm like, who passes? Like, it would have been so great for the franchise to do an incredible film, and I could have made more films, and we wouldn't.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a full work with Scott Stewart, Pam Abdi, okay, what's her name? The head of Universal. They totally greenlit it. Jeff Kirschbaum. Film was done in the can. It was ready. I got the call. And I worked on it for 4 years.
Are you
Yeah, I'm the only
serious?
person that said no.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah. So sometimes if you overthink things and you apply the conventional norms, you miss opportunities.
100%. I'm all about going against any conventional norm.
Correct.
So you don't have to, you're preaching to the converted already. All right. Ronnen.
Jennifer.
Ronnen. I thought I said it properly, Ronnen. All these years, I guess I've been like saying your name wrong. I apologize. I would say, where can people find you? But we know they can find you nowhere because you're nowhere on social media.
No, I'm going. I'll be on LinkedIn.
And by the way, LinkedIn's fine, but you don't have to. I'm going to tell you later that whatever. But the book, how about this? The book is called No Experience Necessary by, say your name because I don't want to screw it up.
No, do you say it?
Ronnen.
Perfect.
Thank you. Practice makes perfect. By Ronnen Harary. And like I said, this guy is like the real deal. I am so happy that we got to do this
Thank you so much.
podcast. And thank you for being here. I'm hoping I didn't hold you hostage too long. 2 hours.
I loved every minute of it.
It's
great.
2 hours. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not like it's been like 2 hours. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Like almost 2 hours. Like an hour and 45 minutes.
Jen, you're the best.
You're the best. All right, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please take this moment and subscribe. Bye-bye.